So the first part here is just kind of a primer on DevOps, or how we see DevOps in the enterprise. And this helps also organize our team and give our team direction of what we're trying to achieve. So there's a couple of major business trends impacting IT. And the big things are SaaS for enterprise business apps and DevOps for redefining your business through software. So in the traditional IT world, these are the applications that kind of run the business, but don't differentiate your company or give you competitive advantage. So things like ERP and HR and financials, or collaboration like Zoom. Those type of applications we're ultimately trying to simplify and then move to SaaS. Things like Office 365 or ServiceNow or SAP Cloud. We're ultimately trying to simplify our business process and then adopt the SaaS provider's capabilities. But those applications aren't really giving us competitive advantage. They're not differentiating us. We need them, but we want to actually make sure that when we try to differentiate our company and provide competitive advantage, that's where DevOps comes into play. These are the applications that really give us the ability to transform our business and gain competitive advantage. And what you want to do in this environment is rapid software development using dynamic cloud services. So that's where you get the AWS and the Google clouds, or even your private cloud. And we have a robust private cloud option also. That gives us the ability to deploy workloads wherever we want, supporting the rapid software development that gives us competitive advantage. So if we look, ultimately what we're trying to achieve here is IT at the speed of business change. As I think all of you are aware, business changes daily, there are rapid changes and a lot of competition, and we need to be able to provide rapid and frequent delivery of business software capabilities to match the speed that business changes. And what we're trying to do is get away from the traditional IT application release model, which is we have a release in February, then 30 days later we do another release, and then something happens in the spring and we can't do another one till May. That's 2 months, and then so summer vacations, or there's end of quarter and we have to wait again till August. That's a really slow way of delivering new capabilities to end users, whether those are internal employees or they're customers. So then there's Agile IT, which is a more efficient way to organize application teams to produce more frequent results. In this case, maybe you have an application release every 2 weeks, so you have a 2-week sprint, and that sprint at the end has a release to deliver new capabilities. In this example, Agile IT, this is how the ServiceNow team works in my organization. So we have a 2-week sprint where we look at new features and capabilities that our business users want. We prioritize those, and then every 2 weeks we have a ServiceNow release. Every now and then, though, there are reasons we have to skip a release, like blackouts or end of quarter. And this is a more efficient way than the traditional IT model, but we really still want to move faster. And that's where DevOps comes into play. And ultimately, what we're trying to do with DevOps IT is take Agile IT practices and speed them up through automation. So we take Agile practices and apply them in our platform that has all the automation, so we can deliver application changes to production on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, and we really get good at it in the future. We'll just do it continuously. These type of operating models in DevOps IT is how the born-in-the-cloud companies like Netflix and Google and Facebook make 300 production changes a day, because they've adopted Agile principles and how they organize their teams, and they've sped those changes up through automation and DevOps. And they're able to constantly update their production environments through these practices. And this is ultimately what we're achieving with CloudOne. So if we look at where CloudOne comes into play, ultimately what we're trying to achieve is that rapid, frequent delivery of business software capabilities through automation and cloud. So we have the traditional IT world. That's going to be 70% SaaS and 30% custom, all those kind of traditional run the business applications like HR and financials. On the DevOps side is where we get the applications that really differentiate our business, again, give us competitive advantage. Now, NetApp IT doesn't run all of these, like mobile banking app and brokerage model. These are some examples I came up with. But these are the applications for all sort of general enterprises that would be differentiating. Mobile banking apps can definitely differentiate a bank. Brokerage modeling applications can differentiate investment houses. IoT apps may differentiate to all sorts of different companies. So these are the applications that really give you competitive advantage. And when we talk about DevOps, we're looking at the close interaction and collaboration between application development and application ops. And the traditional IT world, which led to those long release cycles, you would have a lot of development work go on for months, and then there'd be a big release where they would release all the changes to ops, and essentially the old metaphor of throwing it over the wall for operations to deal with. And you want to break that model and get those teams to work closely together. And that gives you the organizational capability to deliver software capabilities faster. Now, what's missing though with all these teams, and it's in there at the subtitle of the slide, it says through automation and cloud. DevOps teams need automation and need cloud to be effective. And if you don't provide it to them, those DevOps teams will go get it themselves. So maybe the mobile banking team goes to AWS, and the brokerage modeling team goes to Google, and the IoT team builds it themselves. And the problem is that you lead to a lot of different environments, no standardization, and costs generally are going to rise in that case. So what we did to service these DevOps teams is we built a DevOps platform, which is CloudOne. So ultimately, the customers of my platform, CloudOne, are the DevOps teams. We're trying to build in the right tools, capabilities, and automated workflows to make those DevOps teams productive and to focus those DevOps teams on their business application, not running the technology itself. We'll run the technology, we'll run the clouds, we'll run the automation so the DevOps teams can focus on their application development. So if we look inside the DevOps platform and how does NetApp products fit into it, NetApp products are ultimately part of the platform. They're making that red circle better. So we look inside the platform, you get the industry products. I'm sure you've heard of many of these, from Docker containers to OpenShift or Kubernetes to Helm charts, and then the cloud providers themselves, whether it's AWS or Google or even private cloud. And then NetApp products also fit into the DevOps platform, whether that's Cloud Volume Services or NetApp Trident or Kubernetes services, or a private cloud built on NetApp HCI and all flash fabs and storage grid. All these NetApp products are ultimately being integrated into the DevOps platform to make that platform more robust and feature functional to service the DevOps teams in their application development. Okay. So for NetApp IT, what we look at is ultimately where our application portfolio is going in the future, and then how do we service the needs of that application portfolio. So in NetApp IT, there's about 550, 570 applications under management, of which around 350 are either business or customer facing. So our enterprise architecture group has created a target state architecture looking at the application portfolio and has classified our applications into the Gartner time model. So tolerate, invest strategic, migrate, and eliminate. And some applications we have to tolerate. Those are the applications that we would like to get rid of but can't. We're just going to tolerate them. We keep them running. We do normal fixes and upgrades, but we're not doing any more investment in those areas, nor are we looking to build more business functionality in those applications. We're tolerating them. Eliminate are the applications we try to eliminate, try to do about 5% a year of eliminating applications. And then on the invest strategic and migrate side are really where the applications that we're moving toward in the future. So invest strategic are the applications we like and want to do more with. And then migrate are the applications that need to be migrated to something better. That could be a new application architecture like containerization. It could be a new vendor, or it could be new infrastructure as a service, whatever the application needs. In our case, over the next 3 to 5 years, our EA group has estimated 70% of this portfolio will go to software as a service. And the reason for that is we generally in NetApp IT run the business applications. We run the HR platform, we run the ERP platform, we run the customer support platform. And a lot of those applications, instead of building ourselves, we can go rent from a SaaS provider. It does leave about 30% of our application portfolio which are unique to NetApp. And those are applications we can't necessarily rent from a SaaS provider. We're going to need to build them ourselves. For that custom application development, that's where CloudOne comes into play. So we'll do custom application development using DevOps and containerized applications that ultimately run inside of CloudOne. So if we look at our hybrid cloud in NetApp IT, first we have the SaaS providers, and those are the common business processes which have already been automated by the SaaS provider. We're just going to rent them, kind of standardize our business practices and go rent those processes from a SaaS provider. For the other 30% is where CloudOne comes into play. So this is where we get the hyperscalers, AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, and our private cloud. And we ultimately created in CloudOne is a software controlled and orchestrated, so software defined development platform. So our developers, our software developers in NetApp IT could build and run cloud-aware applications, so microservices-based applications running in containers using DevOps and CI/CD delivery models. That is ultimately what CloudOne provides to our developers, is the ability to create custom applications in a cloud-aware architecture. CloudOne is also a great vehicle for NetApp product adoption. As customer one, we're expected to use products, and in our private cloud today is built on NetApp HCI with all-flash FAS and NetApp Storage Grid. And then in hyperscalers, we're using Cloud Volumes for storage in the clouds. So if we finish out our hybrid cloud, we still have our traditional data center. Those are where the tolerated applications run. We don't have an exact time frame on eliminating all the tolerated applications, but if I had to guess, it's going to take about a decade to really work through all those applications. So we'll have our traditional data centers for the time being. We will shrink and consolidate and optimize those data centers over time, but they're still going to be with us. Then we have the SaaS providers and our CloudOne environment. That ultimately makes up our hybrid cloud today in NetApp IT. And we have an application strategy that fits into the hybrid cloud. Okay, last thing is also the architecture and target state architecture we're trying to achieve mapped into our cloud environment, our hybrid cloud, gives us our cloud first strategy. So we've done the application rationalization, and we know for applications which are providing us commodity services or system of record, we're going to go SaaS. For the applications which provide us innovation or differentiation, we're probably going to have to build those ourselves, and that's where CloudOne comes into play. So knowing that type of application model, we then apply that to our actual application inventory in the time model, so tolerate, invest, strategic, and migrate. And then that allows us to choose per application which cloud to use. So on a per application basis, some applications, we just need new infrastructure. That's infrastructure as a service. Some applications need to be completely rebuilt from the ground up. That's CloudOne. So you're re-architecting the application into containers and microservices. And then in a lot of cases for us, we're just going to replace the application with software as a service. But this gives us a model now to make a per application decision on which cloud to use.